People are always saying that the average American makes $45,000 a year. Where does the average American work? I want to make $45,000 a year. Are you kidding me? The most I have ever made is $30,000 in a year. Where are these people working that they're making $45,000? Like, don't just tell me that they're making $45,000 a year. Where do they work? Is their job hiring? I need more details. Like, where are they getting these numbers from? I don't think I know anybody in my life who is making $45,000 a year. Like, that is insane. I think that's like the average, only because like there's literal billionaires who are making like so much in a year that like regular people, they're like, oh, the average is 45,000. The average person, I would say, probably makes like 30,000, like 35,000.
I was thinking the same thing, yo, bro. Like, please drop a comment and like, don't tell me where you work. Tell me where you work. It's up to you, but tell me the most you ever made in 1 year as a regular employee. Like, and how long you've been working here to make that much?
Like, you're not making $45,000 an hour on like a $15 an hour fast food salary. Like, where are the people who are making $45,000 a year? Where are they working? Are they hiring? Tell me that, America!
Well, how much do they pay?
It depends. We're making $50 an hour-ish for starting.
Have you seen anything crazy?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Oh, yeah. Traffic accidents, kids falling into pools and getting found 3 hours later. But then there's a lot of good things like...
What does it take to be a police officer?
I majored in criminal justice when I was here. So I started with that. I got my bachelor's, and then I started applying.
And then you go to a police academy?
Yeah, so you can either do what's called sponsored, where an agency hires you and then they pay for all of your stuff to go through the academy, or you can go in as a kind of a free agent, and then agencies will come to the academies and they'll look at you and they pick people up mid-academy. So if you've already started and you're self-sponsoring, you do have to pay for it up front, which sucks, but you can do it either way.
My coworker saw my bank account the other day and it said $25, and we don't get paid for another like 2 weeks. And he was like, how are you surviving? Like, how do you even live off $25? I'll tell you if you really want to know how I budget and save. I sleep. Literally, you have to have no obligations. Just sleep. Because if you're sleeping, you can't be spending money. Period.
You're in your late 20s, early 30s. What do you do for work?
So I thought I'd switch just because I was in a similar situation a couple years ago. I went to Auburn, got my degree in exercise science, wasn't using it, didn't have any direction of where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. I also thought I didn't want to be in the medical field. And then I went to ultrasound school. A little bit different than your typical medical field. There's not as much direct patient care, which is kind of why I like it. You scan in a dark room. There's hardly ever any like real emergency situations, which I like. It's pretty low stress, and you can get this degree in about 2 years. So with some prereqs, there's a 2-year program where you can get a certificate, or you can also go the traditional route of the 4-year program. You get a job almost immediately, which is good. So you don't have to like climb any corporate ladder. You kind of go in making about the same as other techs in the field. And then what you can also do, which is what I'm doing now, is travel ultrasound. So that kind of allows you to travel to different areas in the United States while making a bit more money. So with a 2-year degree, you can make upwards of $140,000 a year. So something to think about. Thought I would share this and help.
I'm at the bank. I'm just about to make a deposit, so we're going to see what I need as a bartender. I have the past couple nights with hair ties and hair clips, and then I think the past like 2 weeks, so we're going to see. But I was thinking, like, as I'm about to go in, I'm like, I keep thinking about Trump and the whole tax situation and, service workers not having to pay taxes on our tips if Trump is elected, and I want to know what you guys think about that. It doesn't affect me either way. I think it would be amazing, but You know, people that are underreporting their cash tips as a bartender or server, you're only doing yourself a disservice at the end of the day, because you need to show what you're making for the future. Like, you need to show, if you want to buy a new car, if you want to get an apartment approved for one, if you want to buy a house, like, you're going to have to show what you're actually making. So if you're just trying to avoid taxes, like, in the moment, it's just not worth it. But I want to know what you guys think about this Trump thing. But anyways, let me organize this and then we will get to counting. Right, so this was Friday night. We'll do this real quick. Friday night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So 100, 200, 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 400, 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So 455 was Friday night. This was Sunday night. So 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 400, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 40, 81, 82, 83, 84, 86, 87, 88, 89, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 25, 76. So 476. Just organizing the money, what it is, real quick. Let me speed this up while I organize, and then we'll find out the total together. So here we go. Okay. I'm gonna do this in halves because it's too thick to hold. So we'll put all the ones down. Okay. All right. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. So 1,000 in 50s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 400, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 700, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 800, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 900, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,000. So we're at 2,000 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.
This tips as a bartender, I don't know anyone who's making that much in tips as a bartender, and I don't, at most a day. It's like what, $5, $4 at most, and weekly at most they getting like what, $20, $30 if they go. Where's she working as a bartender, bro? What?
4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 400, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. 1,000. So we're at 3,000. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 500. So 3,100. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 31, 25, 31, 25, and now the one. So 31, 25. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So 31, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 69, 70, 31, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 3,200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So $3,209 we are going to deposit, but we're not going to deposit this 9 because we only deposit evenly. We're going to keep that 9 for like coffee or something. But yeah, that's about like 2.5 weeks of bartending. So it's a good gig.
That's just straight tips. What the heck?
Hi guys, it's your favorite flight attendant, and I just want to talk to you guys about how we get paid and what we get paid as flight attendants. So in my company, our pay is broken down into 3 major segments: flight pay, boarding pay, and time away from base. There's also subcategories such as holding pay or reroute pay, but the bulk of our pay come from those 3 major categories. As a first-year flight attendant, your base flight pay is $35.50, and then after your first year, it increases to $37.64. It will continue to gradually increase over the years until you top out in seniority at year 12 at $79.80. Time away from base is basically our per diem, and that is for every single hour that we are away from our base, and that's at $2.85 an hour. We also get boarding pay, which is half of our flight pay for 40 minutes. Now, those numbers sound really, really good, but as flight attendants, we do not get paid like the average worker, and it's not a typical 40-hour work week. I'm going to give you guys an example of a 3-day trip that I just worked just a few weeks ago. This was a 3-day trip with a layover in Baltimore and a layover in Birmingham, and I worked a total of 7 flights. The credit for this trip was 17 hours and 33 minutes. My time away from base was 57 hours and 33 minutes. And I also got paid for boarding 7 times. Once that trip was over, I roughly made about $903.54. Each trip is different. You have your high credit trips and your low credit trips. As a flight attendant, your pay is really what you make it, and it all depends on how much you really want to work. I hope I was able to give you guys some insight on patrons transparency. Flight attendant applications are open, so make sure that you hit that follow button and go check out some of my other videos on my page. I hope to see all of you guys on the line soon. Bye.
Hey y'all. So I'm gonna show y'all one of my CNA paychecks. This is one of my paychecks, my checks though. This is one of my most recent ones. All right, I'm not ever doing this shit again. I don't know. Depends on how y'all act. All right, so like I said, originally I make $17.75 an hour. All right, and for this check I had 100.25 hours. So after 80 hours at $17.75. And then I had 20.25 hours of overtime pay. It all came out to $1,900. Hold on, y'all. $1,959.16. Will I ever do that shit again? Absolutely. I don't know. I ain't gonna cap to you. I don't know. But this is just a CNA transparency thing for y'all. Taxes ate my ass up. I ain't gonna cap to y'all like it ate me up. But again, like I said, this is just for y'all to get a gist of what it is in this field and what it's like. The money is good. It's just you got to put in the work.
We are fucked, and nobody seems to care. Oh my, we need a fuck.
Here's how much I make and spend as a teacher in upstate New York. So I make $52,000 as a high school math teacher just outside of Buffalo. I'm 26 and this is my 4th year teaching. After taxes and deductions, I take home $1,551 every paycheck and I'm paid twice a month. I don't contribute anything to my 401k, so that's that. I have my tithes included in my expenses so I don't have to worry where that money's coming from, and that's $310 every single month. I split rent with a buddy of mine at $750 every month, and that's my portion. I drive a 2016 Chevy Malibu, and that's $197 a month. I have $30,000 in student loans, and I pay $228 toward that. I have $17,000 of credit card debt on 6 maxed out credit cards, and my minimum payments are $389. And just below my food, all of my expenses are automatically totaled up to $2,658 every month. By the way, this budget is fully automated. If you want to check it out, go and use the link in my bio. As we get over to the right side, this number is most important because it's how much money I have left after all my expenses have been paid. From there, I can choose a monthly allowance. And I chose $400, which leaves me with almost nothing. Now, the way I budget my money, every time I get paid, money automatically flows into 3 bank accounts, all from the same bank. So I have a spending account, a bill pay account where all my expenses get automatically pulled from, and a high yield savings account. This last number over here is my emergency fund number. This number is automatically calculated based off of 3 months of my spending and bill pay. And I have nowhere near $8,000. In the spirit of transparency, I have negative $274 in my bank account. And this credit card, one of my 6 that's maxed out, is past due. And after everything is said and done, I save $43 a month, 1.42% of my income. Now, my situation has since changed, but these are my real numbers, and this is my real budget, and that was a real screenshot of my bank account. Like, follow, and comment for more.
Okay. Damn, bro.
And how much do they pay?
This year I'll be making close to $150,000. This company pays now about $40 an hour, depending on what time you start. You don't want to go to college or anything. It's a good trade. It's local. A lot of jobs won't pay you that and be local.
Do you know if you can be a felon and still get this job? You can.
You can.
And you need a high school diploma?
You don't need a high school diploma.
You don't need it. So you drive a fuel tanker?
Yes, sir.
What do you do exactly?
I load up 8,700 gallons of fuel and bring it here and deliver it to the underground storage tanks.
And how many deliveries do you get per day?
We get 4 loads, so every time we load, we have to go back to the terminal and load up again and come back and make a delivery.
Like how many hours do you work per week?
Our shifts is from 2 to 2. There's a night shift and day shift. They're both 12-hour shifts. So
okay.
You have 12 hours to complete your work. If it's slow, we only do 3 loads, 9, 10 hours. But most of the time, we get 12 hours.
So most of the time, you get overtime. It's over 8 hours, right?
We get straight time. Other companies pay overtime. We get straight time, and we do get bonuses to compensate for that overtime. So we get $2,000 bonuses every month, as long as we do 4 loads every day.
What kind of license do you need for this truck?
You need a Class A with hazmats, tankers, and doubles and triples to do this.
Okay. I'm assuming you need experience too before they hire you?
You need a minimum of 1 year experience, depending on the company that's doing the hiring. Some companies are 1 year, some companies are 2 years.
Are they hiring right now?
We're always hiring.
Always
You have to
hiring.
work weekends to start. Most of the time you have to work nights and holidays. If it's Christmas, New Year's, it's your day to work. You're gonna work. You get paid holiday pay. So,
Okay, holiday pay.
We get compensated, but there's nothing like paying it with family. But you got drivers that call out, but the product's got to keep going. So there's always work.
And how much do they pay?
This company pays now about $40 an hour, depending on what time you start.
Nice. Would you recommend it to other people?
Oh yeah, this year I'll be making close to $150,000.
That's pretty good.
So it's decent. If you don't go to school and you don't want to go to college or anything, it's a good trade. It's local. A lot of jobs won't pay you that. And be local. You can make good money going over the road, but you're going to be out of state. You're not going to be with the family. You're not going to be home every night. Here you're home every night.
Yeah. One main challenge you have while working this job? Is it like traffic or?
There's a lot of challenges. Traffic, keeping your license, keeping your points down so that you don't lose. Your license is your tool.
Yeah.
If you get too many points, you're not going to have a license. Your health, if you're not healthy, you're not going to be working. We get physicals every 2 years, depending on if you're high blood pressure or other issues. Then it's every year, but most of the time every 2 years.
Last question. Do you know if you can be a felon and still get
Yes,
this job?
you can.
You can.
You can.
Perfect. And
Depending on the felony,
right.
It has to be 7 years or older, and you could still get your
Just no DUIs.
DUIs, they have to be 7 years or older.
Okay. And you need a high school diploma?
You don't need a high school diploma.
You don't need it.
So it's a good job to do. If you didn't finish school, you want to work hard to make your money, here's where it's at.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Have a good one.
It's payday for this high school science teacher that makes $78,000 a year. Let's break down my paychecks together. Starting off with teaching after taxes, 401k contribution, and insurance, I made $2,055.78. Moving on to my weekend job after taxes, I made $566.32. That means for this 2-week pay period, I made $2,622.10. First thing that I do every single paycheck is save and invest $500, so there goes $1,000. Rent was $400. My phone bill was $222. My fitness bills.
You said rent's $400? Must have room.
Were $36 in total. I made a student loan payment of $350, and then all of my other bills go on my credit card. This includes gas, groceries, miscellaneous. That came out to $475.89. That means left over, I have $138.21, which is kind of perfect because I have a marathon coming up when I just hit 350 miles on both pairs of my everyday trainer shoes. So it's pretty safe to say that I need new running shoes. I'm finally feeling settled into my new school, which is fantastic. I'm also finally getting adjusted to budgeting my new raise, which is pretty exciting, but for those that want to know.
I just got off of a 13-hour shift. Let's go over how much money I made as a local company truck driver. So I did drive 500 miles tonight, and I get paid 65 cents a mile, and then I had 4 stops. I get roughly $38 a stop, and then it is a weekend day, so I get $105 as a weekend incentive, and that brings my total to about $580 for the day. I also got a night shift incentive, but that's weekly, not daily, so it's not included. And then if you break that down by the hour, that means I roughly got about $44 an hour. Now this is like on a busier day. Usually, like, it depends on the day. Sometimes I can only make like $250 to $300, just depending on what work is available. But that's just what I made today, and I wanted to share. That's all. Bye.
Budget might check with me as a 25-year-old marketing analyst. Just some context on how much I get paid. I am salary at $50K a year, so my checks are usually fixed at about $15.40. That's not the point of the video. Let's get into these bills. So as y'all know, the first just rolled around, so obviously we have rent to pay. I'm fortunate enough to live with my partner, so everything gets split down the middle, including rent, leaving me with only $784 to pay for rent this month. I'm only tackling one credit card this paycheck, so I put $54 towards that. I also borrowed $240 from my savings last check, so I'm going to put that money back into my savings this time around. I'm going to pay half of my car insurance bill this check and then the other half next time around, so that's going to be $75 towards that. I also put $50 towards my student loans. I don't know what they got going on, but y'all not ready to come for me. Last bill I have to pay this check is my couch financing, so that's $17. Again, these are all split. I did have a therapy appointment set for today, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to reschedule that when I have a little bit more money in my pocket. Once all my bills are said and done, I'm only left with about $358 for the next 2 weeks. And keep in mind, I still have to get small things like gas, groceries, stuff for my cats, little things like that. Anyways, come back in 2 weeks when I get paid again and I can actually keep some of this money.
I know before I say anything, there's some people gonna say that they split rent because some people don't like that, I guess. Some people gonna say they're roommates because why would he make her pay 50-50? There's different opinions on it. I personally would like, if I'm able to cover the rent the entirety for my partner. That's my personal thing, and I guess she could just get the inside stuff, like food and stuff like that. I'll help with the necessities like tissue, toilet paper, any like utensils we need. The only thing she really just do is probably just food. And if I'm ready, I can I'm up there. This YouTube thing works out. I cover everything. I don't mind it. I really, me personally, want to take care of the person I love, and also my family. Obviously, I'm able to. But yeah, that's my opinion.
It's payday, so let's break down my paycheck as a 25-year-old actuary making $119,000 in Connecticut. I get paid bi-weekly, so my $119,000 salary comes down to $4,576 every 2 weeks. First thing are the taxes. I pay $925 between federal, state, Medicare, and Social Security every paycheck. Year to date so far, I paid $23,250, which is mind-blowing, and this is pretty accurate too. I don't get any money back during the tax return. Next, I contribute $915 to my 401k after already contributed over $16,000 to my Roth 401k earlier this year. And I'm on track to maxing out my 401k at $23,000 by the end of the year. Now, I'm using both the traditional and a Roth 401k here because I want to diversify my retirement accounts just like diversifying stocks. With that said, I also put $173 in my health savings account or HSA, which will also be maxed. Then I pay for insurance, $172 for medical, and $650 for dental. I didn't get vision because I'm not getting new glasses this year. This is actually pretty expensive compared to other employers. My employer isn't that generous. My salary is kind of low too. With that said, I also pay $105 to come park at work, which is crazy for Connecticut. So I started out with $4,576, and after all those deductions, I'm left with $2,400 to take home every 2 weeks, which I use to further invest in real estate and my non-retirement investment accounts. Here's my entire paycheck again for full transparency.
Okay, another week, another budget update. Between saving on expenses and bringing in extra income, we're starting the week with $2,058. This week, we should bring in $4,850, and we're going to split it between our accounts like this. The business account will get $727 and spend $208. The bills account will get $1,891 and spend $269. Everyday account will get $825 and spend $575. Kids account gets $243 and spend $0. Fund account gets $243, spend $0, leaving us with a balance at the end of the week of $4,935.
How much do they pay? Upwards of $45 an hour. Can this be a dangerous job, what you guys do? You could get chopped, even like half a mile away. You don't know where it's coming from. So what do you do for a living? Placing fiber optics cable. We're splicing it and then, and service the customers. Do you need a special license? No. High school diploma. And then they train you, it's on the job training. Would you recommend this career to other people? Pretty much, yes. How many hours do you guys put in per week? I put in 40 hours. I'm close to retirement. I'm really trying to settle down. Nice. And when you go down there, like you said, splicing. Right now we're laying wire, and then after that, the other end, we'll be splicing it. How much do they pay? Upwards of 45 bucks an hour. Yeah.
Is it union?
It's unionized, yeah. Can this be a dangerous job, what you guys do? It could be a dangerous job, especially if some of the cables are on the telephone poles, for example, or Edison poles. Sometimes Edison catches fire, so our cable catches fire. So if we're in the vicinity, we could get shocked, even like half a mile away, we don't know where it's coming from. But, I would say it's safe, we haven't had any incident yet.
Just for AC, for ventilation?
Not for ventilation, just to have a constant air inside.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
I'm 26 years.
26 years doing
Yeah,
this.
so
Same
gonna,
company.
gonna retire. So
Oh, good. Congratulations. What's your plan for retirement?
after that, move somewhere else. Move
Cheaper.
out of California, yeah, somewhere where things are cheaper. Don't have to deal with that hustle and bustle. There's other cable companies, like Spectrum, Charter, Time Warner. There's Edison, the power company, so they're a little more advanced than what we do. But good job. People need to talk, so there's communication everywhere. So you can even go out of state. You can go with contractors. You can stay with a company like this.
This company is always hiring, right, for insurance?
Yeah, just different things. They slowed down for a while, but we're gonna be Verizon next year because Verizon just bought us. We were Verizon before, Frontier bought them, then Verizon's buying them back.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, it's like what? So we gotta save our shirts, all our old shirts, But
Nice.
yeah, it's all right. It's a job,
Right.
But you can turn it into a career.
Can you eventually maybe start your own thing? Or
It'd
is
be
it
hard.
tough?
It's hard. You need a lot. There's a lot of capital that you need to start with: trucks, tools, employees.
So that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the
Put a link to this channel in the description. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. This is the full transparency of salary between low income and high earners. And I'll see you in the next one, man. Also, before I go, I'm on the road to 1 million subscribers by the end of 2025. I would love for you to be part of the journey. A like and subscribe goes a long way. Thank you.